Hello everyone, and welcome to my Days of Our Lives official. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Ben and Sierra argued over whether or not to open the envelope confirming their baby's sex. Ben and Sierra chose to let the visitor open the envelope when they heard a tap on the door. Sean was in the hallway when Ben opened the door. Yes or no? Sierra inquired. I've learned never to give an answer without knowing the question first, stated Sean. Sierra moaned. Regarding the doctor's appointment, Sean inquired. The doctor was able to determine the sex of the baby, said Ben. Sierra gave Sean the envelope. Do either one of you have a preference as to whether you want a boy or a girl? Sean inquired. Obviously not. Sierra remarked, as long as the baby is healthy. Ben concurred. In order to choose colors for the nursery, Sean recommended that they open the envelope. Sean was reassured by Sierra that the nursery will be painted a neutral color. Gender stereotyping our child is not our goal. When they're old enough, we'll even teach them how to select their own pronouns, Sierra stated. I'm totally cool with all that, so why don't we open the envelope so we can find out, replied Sean. Sierra and Ben moaned indecisively. I don't think we're going to decide tonight, Ben stated. Ben and Sierra were urged to take their time by Sean. Sierra urged Sean to bring the sonogram envelope home with him as he was getting ready to depart. Just for safekeeping until we decide if and when we want to open it, added Sierra. You're scared you're going to take a peek, remarked Ben. Ben might, too, Sierra retorted. Ben said, take that temptation, to Sean. Sean said he would check it out on the way home. Sierra and Ben both yelled. I'm joking. Sean reassured his sister. Ben pondered out loud whether they had made the correct choice when Sean left. Sierra observed that they would have stared at the envelope all night if they hadn't given it to Sean. There's still plenty of time to find out the sex of the baby, added Sierra. If we want to, said Ben. Nothing could separate them, Sierra observed. Paulina questioned Lonnie at the hospital about why she had yelled Mom during the wedding reception when the chandelier had collapsed. Tripp came in before Lonnie could respond. Paulina moaned when Tripp inquired about what had transpired. It was Johnny DiMera. For injuring my child, I could wring that boy's neck. Paulina complained. Tripp was perplexed and inquired as to what Johnny had done to Chanel. At the wedding celebration, in front of both of their families, Paulina informed Tripp that Johnny had cheated on Chanel. Tripp was worried and inquired as to Chanel's whereabouts. Allie had chased after Chanel, Lonnie clarified. That must be why she hasn't returned my call, Tripp said. Allie was a good friend, Paulina said. Tripp said he would call Allie again after checking on Paulina's x-ray. Don't discuss my ailments with Chanel. Paulina remarked, she has enough to worry about. Tripp nodded in agreement and left. At Paulina's apartment, Chanel, in tears, remarked in her bedroom, I don't know what I'd do without you, Horton. Chanel was reassured by Allie. When the world gets one of us down, we hold each other up, said Allie. The words you and me against the world were whispered by Chanel. Chanel gave Allie a kiss. Allie retreated after a moment. They said, I can't do this, Allie. Allie expressed regret and reaffirmed her commitment to Tripp. Allie bolted out the door as Chanel stepped near her. Allie noticed that Tripp had called her phone as she gathered her belongings in the living room. Allie picked up when Tripp called again. Is Chanel okay? Tripp inquired. Chanel was devastated but would be all right, according to Allie. Allie informed Tripp that Chanel was returning to her own apartment after confirming that she was at her mother's place. We'll talk tomorrow. Allie said, I love you. Chanel hurried out of the bedroom as Allie turned to go. Chanel begged, please don't bail the way your brother did. Chanel later expressed regret over the analogy. The whisper, I know how bad he hurt you, came from Allie. Chanel maintained that Allie would never degrade the person she professed to love, in contrast to Johnny. Chanel sobbed as Allie gave her a hug. Allie remarked, "My brother isn't worth your tears, please stay if you can, even though I know I went too far the last time." As companions, Chanel remarked, "I don't want to be by myself tonight." Nothing romantic would occur, Chanel assured. "My whole life was ripped apart in front of everyone I care about, and I just feel sad, humiliated, lost," Chanel stated. Allie vowed to remain. Chanel stated she couldn't believe Allie and Johnny were twins and shook her head. "Because of what he did to you, I despise him. I doubt I'll ever be able to forgive him for it," Allie remarked. "I believed that he loved me. I believed that we would be together for the rest of our lives." Chanel remarked, "I don't know how I could have been so mistaken about him." Allie made arrangements for Nicole to watch Henry overnight by calling her. To feel Allie close by, Chanel invited her to sleep in her bed. Allie reluctantly consented. Allie and Chanel slipped into bed with their backs to each other after Chanel assisted Allie in unzipping her clothing. The two turned to each other to converse while Chanel kept sneezing back her tears. "I'm so happy you're here," Chanel remarked. "I am, too." Allie said, "I want you to know that my brother is a fool." Chanel was described by Allie as the smartest, fiercest, most beautiful woman I know. Allie mumbled, "Anybody would be lucky to be with you, do you really mean that?" Chanel inquired. "Yes. Yes," Allie said. Allie gave Chanel a kiss. Tripp went back to Paulina's examination room at the hospital to give her an update on Chanel. "A good night's sleep will help," Lonnie said. Paulina. "I've got to be there for her." Paulina protested. To prevent Paulina from leaving the room, Tripp and Lonnie gave her a gentle shove back onto the medical table. Tripp stated, "We must first get this ankle treated." Lonnie informed Paulina that she was also concerned about Chanel while Tripp went to find out the X-ray results. A mother's concerns concerning her kids never go away. "All of her kids," Paulina remarked. Paulina had a sprained ankle, which Tripp verified when he got back, and he bandaged it for her. Paulina remarked, "Dr. Tripp, you got a nice bedside manner." Tripp smiled and mentioned that his mentor was Kayla, his stepmother. "I'm sure she is as proud of you as I am of my girls," remarked Paulina. Lonnie felt Paulina's hand on her shoulder. Paulina inquired as to whether Lonnie had been offended when she referred to Lonnie as one of her girls after Tripp had gone off to complete the release paperwork and get Paulina a cane. "No, I wasn't," acknowledged Lonnie. Paulina re-asked Lonnie why she had referred to her as Mom. "I don't know why I said that. I just said it in the moment when I realized you were in danger," Lonnie said. Whispering, "I see," Paulina said. Paulina was informed by Lonnie that tomorrow will always be her mother. "Of course," said Paulina. "Deep down, I guess I see you that way, too," Lonnie said. Tripp came back carrying a cane and the discharge papers. Tripp said, "Please tell Chanel that I hope she's okay." Tripp nodded and went out. Paulina offered to be taken home when Lonnie helped her stand up. Paulina told Lonnie that her driver was on the ground floor. Paulina persisted, "You go home to your beautiful twins and their beautiful daddy." Lonnie said she would give Chanel a call to see how she was doing. "I'm so happy you were there for me, Lonnie." Paulina remarked, "You have no idea how much that means to me." Lonnie went back upstairs to thank Tripp for his concern after loading Paulina into her car. "It's a delight." "She is unique," Tripp remarked. "She sure is," added Lonnie. Tripp was asked by Lonnie to express gratitude to Allie for supporting Chanel.